So, this is the Swanson Savage Proscribe. This is the 16-foot model. And the thing that's special about this tape is this little switch here gives you the option to use it either as a regular tape measure or with the scribe bar. Sometimes, apparently. This scribe bar is not exactly the toughest thing in the world. In fact, I got one of these for one of my friends, and before even getting to use it, they had broken the scribe bar, which is actually a blessing in disguise, because while that is the point of this tape measure, it is my least favorite feature about it, namely the fact that the one big flaw from this tape measure is the fact that this doesn't click down and stay down. Quite often I try to use this thing on a day-to-day basis. I find every once in a while this thing will click up and it brings that out with it. But other than that, you know, I really like the fact that there's a blade on the top of this here, and there is a rule on the back side. So even though this is a pretty heavily curved tape, it's a pretty good standout actually. Even though it's this big curved out thing, you can accurately hook it on the edge of a board and get it right down and mark right next to it, like this 16 here. It does have your 16 on center marked out for you, and it also has, I believe, the 19.2. So it has all three common, 12 foot on center, 16 on center, 19.2 on center, and 24 on center. I guess that's 4, if I could count. I wish the Crescents had this, although I don't know if the Night Eye 16, 25, and 35s have this feature, but it's got your standard slot here for hooking onto things. I believe a lot of tool belts come with a little button or something that you can hook these onto, but most people throw them in pouches for carpentry. This belt hook has a little rubber thing that's nice so you're not cutting yourself on it. And you can push it open. Let me grab my Crescent. I actually have 2 Crescent Lufkin, well, one's just a Lufkin. This one also has the slot, but you can't push down to open this up, which is good for if you want to throw it in your pockets on your jeans, like what I usually do. This one has actually torn my jeans up quite a bit like that. This one, it's got a button, but no way to do what you can with this one. The tape is nice. It's like a semi-matte, like it's not too shiny compared to the Crescent. The Crescent's a little bit more matte, and by matte I mean it's the opposite of shiny. It's very flat looking. This does have the width of the tape body, so what that's for, say I want to figure out how far this mark is from this edge, but I don't feel like, let's say there was a wall here or something. You can take this, move it up against the back of your wall, and all we have to do, so it's about 7 1/4 it looks like, we would add 2 3/4 to that to get 10 inches. This, I do find that the button lock actually opens that up somehow. I'm not really sure. It didn't that time. See, that's the problem with this. This is very inconsistent on whether it wants to actually hold the scribe bar in or not. It is magnetic, which is pretty handy. The blade is rubberized except for this bottom, and I have checked both the top and the bottom blade are actually coplanar with each other. Both pulled out and pushed in. See, the back is flat. Now the front is flat. So that they are accurate with each other. So if you were to take a measurement like this and then a measurement like this, they would be equal. I do like the quality of the tape, minus the plasticky nature of the scribe bar. And it really hurts me to say this, but honestly, I would just prefer that it didn't have the Proscribe feature on it. But they do make a tape like that. I can't remember what it's called, but they do have a tape measure that just has a regular blade on it that does not have the scribing feature. I do like the tape measure, but I also don't like it. If this button were to actually click down and stay down, I would absolutely love this tape. But let's go ahead and do some standout tests, just for those curious, and then I'll show you some of the features and how they actually work. I do not know what the advertised standout is on this, but I guess we will find out. 41, no problem. 50, no problem. 5 foot, no problem. 6 foot, no problem. 7, no problem. Will it do 8? Yeah, it will not do 8. I think the standout on this is actually 7.5 foot, so something else I really like about this tape, they have your, say you're way out here and you don't feel like doing the math, well, it's 7'3", you have 1, 2, these red numbers, 3, so 87 would be 7'3". So let's go ahead and try 7'6". Oh, it's sketchy, but it'll do it. Let's see if I'm just really gentle. Nope. It will not do 8 foot. Sadly. So, quick little note. Price. For a while here, there's a store in the Midwest if you live here. It's called Menards. These were on sale for $5.99, these 16-foot ones, but you couldn't find them. I'm pretty sure I bought this for $8 or $9 way back in the day. And it has been used pretty extensively, not as much as my Lufkin Classic, or the Legacy series, I guess is what they were called. Crescent doesn't make this tape anymore, sadly. They look different now. They still make a chrome tape, but I liked the look of these. Anyways, so the Proscribe feature, there's two main things you can do with it. And I'm not entirely sure why. There we go. That's what's supposed to happen. There's a metal bar that the magnet's supposed to be able to catch. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Usually it works when I don't want it to. But what this is for, let's say we wanted to scribe a line at 6 inches. Now let's do 4 1/4. You lock it down. This bar won't move, the tape won't move. What you do is you take your carpenter's pencil, you hold this plastic piece against whatever you're trying to mark, and voila. Let's go ahead and check it with yeah, that's 4 1/4. So it is accurate. And the other thing you can do with this, both of these features really honestly really pertain more to you drywall guys than a woodworker like me or even a carpenter or laborer on a job site. But they are useful. The other thing you can do with this is you can scribe an arc. So let's go ahead and put, I've already done a 4-inch arc on here. 4-inch being the radius, so this would actually be, if I had done a full circle, it would be 8 inches in diameter. This one would be 6 inches in diameter, which is actually a pretty common recessed lighting. So what you do, you mark out 3 inches on your tape, put your locking bar down, and put your, what I do is I hold my finger, there is a little spike here, down at the bottom, that would press pretty nicely in drywall, but it does work here in, this is Baltic birch plywood. Hold your pencil. And there you go. You can draw, if you wanted to, a complete circle for recessed lighting, so you didn't have to do any guesswork when you go to jigsaw it out, or you can use a drywall cutout tool, whatever you do. And like I said, it is magnetic, which is why I got it for my mechanics friend, because he works with steel a lot. But, like I said, the main drawback for me is the fact that this little catch here, which is supposed to keep the scribe feature locked in when you don't want it. You see how easy it was for me to do it on accident there? It never stays down. So a lot of the times when I go to pull this tape out, the scribe bar comes out with it, which is just annoying. If they had had it at detent or something, this tape measure would have been a slam dunk for me. And this tape measure has been out for a long time, like about 10 years. You can go back on Swanson's YouTube channel and see the introduction video for it, and it's like 9 years old. So yeah, this tape measure has had a lot of time where if they were going to fix that, they would have. It really pains me to say that because I love Swanson products. I have, out of all the squares and marking measuring tools I have, most of them are Swanson, including 6-inch combo square, my 12, and I've got all three versions of the speed square, the trim, which is 4.5 inch, the regular one, which is 7, and the big 12. I have two straight edges by them. One's a 36, one's a 48. I have a straight edge cutting guide from them. I actually have two of those. I have a rafter square and a utility square by them, and just the list goes on. I have lots of Swanson stuff, but it does kind of bother me that their premium line, Savage, has this one glaring flaw where this button will not stay down because there's no detent. So yeah. So my final thoughts. I have a feeling this would be perfect for the drywall crew. Did I even say that correctly? You know what I meant to say. This would be a perfect fit for the drywall finishing crew because of its scribe feature. I must confess to you, as a woodworker, I don't use it. I don't think I've ever used it actually. But I do occasionally try and use it for framing when we're doing the trailer. By the way, you should check that series out if you haven't. There's 11 episodes so far as of the recording of this video. Lots of fun. But when we get to drywall, I'm probably going to exclusively use this tape because of its feature to just, you don't even have to use a chalk line when you have one of these, as long as you're scribing a straight line. If you're scribing an angle, like if your room isn't straight or your ceiling isn't straight or whatever isn't straight, you're going to need a chalk line. So this isn't a complete replacement for a drywall chalk line, but it'll help reduce the amount of times that you actually have to use it. As far as being a carpenter goes, or a laborer, or a woodworker, honestly, not my favorite tape. I'm still going to reach for that Crescent Classic, or this new Crescent Night Eye 8-foot, especially for woodworking. It's a 1/2 inch wide tape with a two-sided, I don't know if you can see this, two-sided blade on it, and the fantastic Night Eye tape. I wish they put it on both sides because it does have, you know, a top part to the blade. But probably 9 times out of 10, unless I'm going to buy lumber, I'm going to be using this tape measure because I don't make anything over 8 foot long, hardly ever. So as far as woodworking goes, or carpentry goes, I would go for the grip line over the Proscribe. If you want a Swanson tape measure, I do plan on getting one eventually to review it. They're cheap. Tape measures are cheap. They're not like the Crescent Night Eyes that are $25 a piece. Well worth the investment in my opinion, but ooh, that's a lot for a tape measure. Anyways, if you've enjoyed this review, or thought it was interesting, or thought this was an interesting product, or if you think I'm wrong and this is actually an amazing tape measure, please subscribe, like, and leave a comment down below telling me your thoughts on this. I wanted so badly to like this tape measure, but I just couldn't get over the fact that there's no detent on this lock that's supposed to keep the scribe feature retracted. So, yeah. Those are my thoughts on the Swanson Savage Proscribe, the 16-foot model. And I'll see you in the next one. Some more reviews coming soon. I believe I'm going to do the multi-volt 36-volt rear handle saw next, or maybe I'll do something else, but I think that saw is long overdue for a review. So, see you in the next one. Oh, one more thing. I probably would have put a title on the bottom for the B-roll at the beginning of this video, but my good friend Eric Krolak has released his first original, and that was the music that you were hearing. So please go check his channel out. Link will be in the description below.